Logan, I had to put on sunglasses because that was a blinding performance. It burned out my retinas. It was so vivid.
You sure it wasn't the abundance of yellow shirts?
It was probably the abundance of yellow shirts. Let me take these off. Warriors win by 41 points in Game 3. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. Actually, I know you're aware of it. Pretty good. Not bad. 41 points, Game 3. You could start in about 100 different places. Pick one. Tell me what you're starting with in this game because it was quite something.
The return of Steph Curry, obviously, right? We haven't seen this guy since, what was it, the New Orleans series when he came back. We saw
that
one
first game.
We saw one game of Steph. And even in this game, it looked like he was going to be terrible again. Like
he started off poor.
He started off poor, and then we saw that 18 points in the third quarter, and it really just galvanized this whole thing. It was funny. I was looking on Twitter. Dragonfly Jones on Twitter was talking about
Shout out Dragonfly Jones.
Shout out Dragonfly Jones. He was talking about how. Durant goes for 38 and 37 in the first couple of games, and there's nothing from the fans. But when Steph goes for 18 and a quarter, this is bedlam, and we kind of saw that today.
Yeah, for sure. I do have to say, and it's going to get washed out in the incredibleness of Steph Curry and all the context that comes with that, because that's everything. Steph Curry's done this 100 times. We've seen this 100 times, but he did it when he had to.
Yes.
He did it after a bad first half when he went 1 for 7 from 3. When it looked like it was just about time to maybe think something was up, he comes through in that way. But what it lost was the fact that the Warriors came out and played incredible defense in the first half. They kept it going in the second half, though they didn't have to go as hard in the second half. Played incredible defense, and the big guy that I would say, obviously Draymond Green's at the center of all of that, but Andre Iguodala was locked in from the start. He had 10 first half points. When Andre Iguodala is playing the way he played on Sunday night in Game 3, I don't think the Warriors can be beat. And you're looking for why it was 41, well, then you're adding in Steph Curry dropping 35.
Well, the biggest, we've seen this over the years. When the Warriors play really well, it's probably because, in the playoffs, it's probably because Andre Iguodala is giving them an extra boost. And he did that. He did that in the finals last year. He did that a couple years ago in the finals. He's really a litmus test of how good this team can be.
For sure.
And he kind of proved that tonight. I think that when you see him play really well, it really just galvanizes the team, like I said.
Yeah, it locks everything in otherwise.
Exactly.
It's two guys with Draymond and him that you can just get away with a lot of stuff on the defensive end. You can be aggressive. You can get up in the chest. When you have James Harden and Chris Paul, and we'll get to Chris Paul here in a second, when you have James Harden and Chris Paul on an offense, those are two of the greatest isolation players of all time. Those are two of the greatest one-on-one scorers of all time. You have to be aggressive. You have to go up in them. And if you know you have not just Draymond Green, but you also have Andre Iguodala and every now and again Kevin Durant behind you, that's huge. And I think that just the Warriors started trusting themselves on the defensive end in this game. You get the crowd behind you get Steph Curry knocking down shots. I don't know, it's a chicken and an egg scenario. Did the defense beget the offense, or did the offense help the defense? But the Warriors would definitely say its defense comes first, and it certainly did here tonight. I want to mention Chris Paul. I know we're not Rocket-centered or anything, but he doesn't look right. I mean, he looks wrong, and if he's not right, I don't know how you can expect the Rockets to get more than another game here. Not here, like overall in this series. I mean, they need every bit of him and more. He gave them nothing tonight.
Nothing. And I think it's been him this whole series. We were in Houston in game 2 where while the Houston Rockets did play very well, he was one of the ones that didn't. And he really
he was nowhere in Game 1.
Nowhere in Game 1. So this has not been a good series for him. But one thing I do want to say is we can't undermine the defense that the Warriors have played. I think in the first 2 games.
No, for sure.
In the first 2 games, I think Curry, while he did reach a lot and he did give up a lot of drives, I think he was solid in his one-on-one defense. And also Kevon Looney, Kevon Looney.
Let's talk about the Loon dog.
Kevon Looney has been playing really well. I just wrote on this why he could be playing his way out of town, essentially.
Oh, for sure.
And, he really stuck with both Harden and Chris Paul and throughout the series, and he really played well tonight.
Yeah, no, you know where I stand on Kevon Looney. I mean, this is his series, and he has performed. I mean, even in Game 2, he looked pretty good. The numbers don't necessarily back it up, but you look at the huge block that he had in the first half, that sparks a huge run. It was tied at that point, I think. Sparks a huge run for the Warriors and really got them above. I mean, the Warriors could have won this game tonight without Steph Curry. Yeah. If Steph Curry did what he did in Games 1 and 2, I still think they win because the defense was so good, and Kevon Looney is such a huge part of that. What's happening now, though, is they're up 2-1. You will just beat a team hard. I don't know what this does in terms of the morale of the Rockets, but man, Game 4 is going to be interesting. If the Warriors come out with the same force, and I know that's the buzzword of this series, that they came out with in Game 3, that they came out with in Game 1, it's over. And if you looked at the pattern of this playoffs, Warriors win 3, lose 1.
Yeah.
Well, they just got their first of what might be 3. And if that's the case, somebody might have predicted Warriors in 5. I'm feeling really good about that right now.
No, I picked Warriors in 6, but we can't. And that's still in play. We
For
know
sure.
about the Warriors, but I mean,
Yeah.
I guess that remains to be seen. My name is Logan Murdock.
I'm Dieter Kurtenbach. We're going to be back here Tuesday. Should be interesting, y'all.
Peace.